I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. I would also like to pass my respects to elders past and present. Michael Theo, congratulations for being one of CGA's Rising Stars 2024, and welcome on the Zoom today.
Hello, Amanda. Thank you for welcoming me onto this, and it is such an honor to receive this award.
It was really lovely to work with you last year on season 1 of Austen, so it's really nice to be able to catch up after all this time.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you allowed to share what you've been up to since the last time we spoke, or shall we keep that for later on in the interview?
Well, maybe later on in the interview.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll start off by asking, I should say. I'll start off by asking about Austen. How did that start for you? What was the start of the process?
Well, the start of the process was Darren Ashton first saw me on Love on the Spectrum 5 years ago, around late 2019. He was staying with his friend Ben Miller in the Cotswolds at the time, and he showed Ben the opening sequence of the first episode, which was of me. And they said to each other, "Do you think this guy could act?" They've been wanting to do a project with each other for quite some time, and they came up with the idea that I turn up at his doorstep and introduce myself as his son, as Ben's son, I meant.
Yeah.
And then that idea evolved into Austen.
And so then they approached you about the project?
Yes, in January 2020, Darren came to my place with Kian, who is the director of Love on the Spectrum, and offered me the role of Austen himself in person.
Wow, that's really special. What did that feel like? Was that scary, or was that exciting, or was that expected?
It was actually exciting, not scary or expected either, because I didn't even think for 1 minute that Love on the Spectrum would have led to an acting career, let alone an acting opportunity. But I saw it as a chance to pursue acting all over again, so I grabbed it. And when I did, I couldn't let it go.
So was Austen the first experience that you had with scripted acting?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, and it's also a comedy, which is arguably even more challenging than drama. How did you find that process in terms of finding the rhythm, or did you just follow your instinct?
I just basically followed my instincts, and I was kind of also being myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain it, but becoming a funny person is not something that you can just make a plan to become. Being funny is either something you are or you're not. And I've been
Exactly.
told numerous times that that I'm a funny person, even though I'm not trying to be.
Yeah. Well, it's just, as you say, innately part of you and your sense of humor.
Yep, that's right.
Have you thought about venturing into dramatic roles? Do you want to act more? What are your thoughts about the acting process? Because I know you really enjoyed the chemistry reads. I remember that. It was such a delight.
Yeah, I really enjoy the chemistry tests. I loved
Yeah.
all parts about acting. And
Mhm.
I actually really want to do more roles, even dramatic roles. I actually consider myself a versatile performer. Therefore, I want to do all kinds of roles in all kinds of genres, except for slasher and thrillers.
Do you want to tell me a bit about what else you do in in life?
When I'm not acting,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, of course, not a problem. I'm also the ambassador for Wable. Wable is a new dating app for people on the spectrum. It launched earlier this year, and it's just recently launched in New Zealand, and soon they'll be launching in the US and the UK.
That's
And,
wonderful.
but that's not all. I'm also an autism consultant at Aspect, which stands for Autism Spectrum Australia.
That sounds like a lot on your schedule. Do you find it hard to juggle everything?
I do my best to juggle everything. At times, there are moments where it can be a bit of a challenge, but I handle it very well. And I'm also working on a children's book at the moment.
Oh my goodness, as in writing it?
Yes.
Wow. Tell me about that. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, there wasn't really an inspiration behind it. My acting agent um, was reaching out to a few publishers to see who would love to work with me on writing a children's book. I was actually surprised by the idea, and even though I never really wrote did any book writing or script writing before, I decided to take on the challenge and do a children's book because my mission is to bring love and light into people's lives, and so they thought that a children's book would be a perfect fit for me.
Have you written much before? Have you experienced
Actually,
it? What's that like?
actually, in terms of writing, all I've written so far have been blogs.
Hmm.
Aspect. I wrote blogs for Aspect on my experiences with living on the spectrum, dating on the spectrum, my experiences with friendships, school, and how I became Mr. A plus, and my experiences on Austin and the comfort of routine. But to
Wow.
be honest, I had never written any books before, so I was slightly nervous to take on the challenge of writing a children's book because I don't really know much about writing, but I'm still learning as we speak.
And you mentioned Mystery Plus because you're kind of covering all the platforms here. Tell us about that. Tell us about that one.
Mr. A plus is like a stage name for me. I started saying on Love on the Spectrum that an A plus partner looks like me, so my mother started calling me Mr. A plus, and it just stuck ever since.
If you were to give advice to someone starting out in the industry in whatever capacity as an artist, is there something that you would share?
The best advice I can give them is go into this field with determination. Don't let anyone change your mind or tell you otherwise, because the best thing you can do in this industry is be yourself and believe in yourself. If you believe that you can act, then go for it, and just believe firmly in that. But also you need to think positive and have faith. I know that it's not easy, not always easy to do that in the industry. Believe me, I know. But you'll make it to the next project, and it'll be worth it in the end. But in the meantime, you'll just need to find ways to fill in your time or keep yourself busy. It could be anything in life. And the other bit of advice I can give people is that if someone recommends that you do some acting classes, then go for it. But also, acting is not about doing what's best, not only doing what's best for you, it's also about giving to the community as well.
That's really beautiful advice, Michael, and it has clearly served you very well. It's such a joy to see you doing so well.
Thank you.
And can I ask if there's anything on the cards that we should be aware of that we should be looking forward to other than your children's book?
Well, there is two projects in the pipeline in terms of acting, but they're kind of under wraps, I'm sorry to say.
Got it. Got it. We look forward to hearing more about it in due course.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for your time.
my pleasure, Amanda. Thank you.